You don't even have to listen to his songs to figure out that he's a true legend. But if I turn on the audio, it gets even better. This is Masayoshi Takanaka. He's easily one of my favorite Japanese fusion artists, and I'm not alone in sharing my fondness of him. Let's take a closer look at his style and background, shall we? It's fairly easy to recognize the characteristics of a typical Takanaka song. Cheerful guitar tunes packaged in a tropical feel-good vibe. Most of his songs are instrumental, but as Kyle Gagnon puts it, the light-hearted melodic guitar sings with a voice of its own. Takanaka apparently recorded a demo tape with his voice when he first went solo. However, he quickly discovered that it would be better if the guitar took the main melody. Of course, there are some songs out there with lyrics sung by him and guest artists. I think a Takanaka soup would probably consist of jazz, jazz fusion, city pop, rock, funk, and a good chunk of samba. Oh, and a pinch of disco. And by disco, I mean this. While we're at it, listen to this hilarious section later in the song.
Hey, Takanaka, check out my new dreads, you know?
Oh, that's bad.
So what's going on?
Oh, I'm just chilling out. These girls just won't leave me alone.
Man, I heard you.
His joy and humor is so contagious, both during live concerts and the studio albums. Just like with the Japanese fusion band Cassiopeia, they both create music that makes you smile. Takanaka loved to entertain, as he was often seen performing in Japanese TV shows in the 80s and 90s. One of them being Yoru no Hit Studio, a popular music variety program. Takanaka also appeared in comedy shows as well. He truly has the confidence to be himself on stage. Who else can say they've played on a surfboard guitar?
弾きにくいやっぱりこの辺だって分厚くて邪魔だしね弾きにくい、見てる人が面白いかなと思うからやってるだけで、でもその何%かはバカにしてるんだろうなと思うところあるから6キロぐらいの重さなのね。だからライブだと2曲やるとちょっとヘトヘトになるという。だからたまに使うぐらいがいいのかなと思って。
I'm really curious on where he gets these ideas from. Picture him in a board meeting asking for a guitar with a functioning miniature train set. That's doable, right? Of course it is. As with other city pop and jazz fusion songs, Takanaka's tunes are a perfect accompaniment to driving. You better love the sound of an electric guitar, because boy, it goes hard sometimes. Not everything is fast-paced though. I love the sound of the soft instruments in Malibu. And let's not forget about the songs with vocals as well. Listening through his discography, I'm impressed by the variety of genres and moods, all the while keeping the fresh and unique Takanaka style intact. in 1953 in Tokyo, his birth name was actually Masayoshi Ryu. His father was Chinese and his mother Japanese. In 4th grade, Masayoshi achieved Japanese citizenship and changed his surname from Yu to Takanaka. In 1971, he played guitar and bass in Flight Egg, a prog rock band, thus starting his professional career. A year later, Takanaka joined Sadistic Mika Band. And no, the band wasn't as sadistic as you would assume. The name was supposedly inspired by the vocalist's sadistic way of using knives in the kitchen. After Mika left the band, the remaining members continued for several years as the Sadistics. And guess what? Here's Takanaka himself singing. Isn't it nice? Fun fact, the drummer Yukihiro Takahashi and keyboardist Yu Imai sings later in the song as well. In 1979, the band members became busy with their solo careers, and thus Takanaka released his first solo album, Seychelles, under Kitty Records, moving into his well-known tropical jazz fusion sound. So who were the listeners of Takanaka? In 1978, the film Big Wednesday inspired a surfer movement in Japan. These people were rebellious young adults who went to the clubs and enjoyed a carefree lifestyle. Takanaka being one of them. His popularity peaked in the early 80s with albums such as The Rainbow Goblins and Sodaji. He even featured in TV ads.
鮮やかに蘇る音像リアリズムパイオニアスピーカーシステム S180 パイオニア
He was practically living and breathing music, releasing a full album every single year until 1990, sometimes even 2 albums a year. With every album being a banger, it showed true dedication for his art. It's believed that his career had 4 eras. The tropical Kitty Records era. After moving to EMI, he started playing black contemporary music. In the 90s, he was more known for his TV appearances than his music. And lastly, a more carefree period when he started his own label, Lagoon Records. Let's have a closer look at his discography. Listening to his 4th album, Brazilian Skies, it's pretty clear that Takanaka was influenced by samba and Brazilian music. Peak feel-good vibes. Here's another song from the same album. It's actually a cover song, but without revealing it just yet, try to guess what song it is. How can one not love Takanaka's song? What a legend. Fun fact, if you play this song on Spotify, the progress bar will turn into a lightsaber. Speaking of covers, his 1978 album On Guitar has heaps of them. It's an instructional album showcasing playing techniques, which explains why he looks like a teacher. One of the covers he's playing is Earth, Wind & Fire's That's the Way of the World. Here's another cover from a different album, Jolly Jive. The original song is by a Brazilian artist named Jorge Ben. In 1981, he played with the well-known guitarist Carlos Santana and his band. I feel like his instrumental songs are great storytellers. It's easy to let your mind wander and imagine songs used in a cinematic setting. And that's exactly what he did in 1981. Say hello to the Rainbow Goblins.
A long time ago, there was a hidden valley called the Valley of the Rainbow, where the animals lived in peace. This valley...
I first heard this album in 2019 after buying the second-hand CD in Japan. Once returning home, I played the first song and was somewhat surprised. Was it an audiobook? Kinda, but not really.
Blue, indigo, and violet.
This is one of the most creative albums I've listened to. The idea of translating a children's book into a full 14-track long album is just genius. It has humor, soul, and some real funky tunes.
The 7 goblins lived by eating the colours from rainbows. For that reason, they were known as the Rainbow Goblins.
I highly recommend listening to this album uninterrupted from start to finish. On top of that, he did a full concert dressed in costume. At some point, all the musicians were dressed up as goblins. The dedication is impeccable. Entering the mid-80s, it's not unsurprising to hear more usage of synthesizers. Just listen to how Takanaka mimics the sound of a cat. Incredible. In Rendezvous, we can hear the classic late 80s New Jack Swing beat. His albums from the 90s have a different feel than the ones found a decade prior. In line with music trends, some of the songs sounds very 90s.
It's all up to you. We can go alone and chill with the crew. They got it soon.
In 1997, he released The White Goblin, a sequel to The Rainbow Goblins released 16 years prior. This album has a somewhat darker vibe to it, showing how versatile Takanaka is as a musician. Takanaka created his own label Lagoon Records in 2000. Album releases slowed somewhat down in this decade. We also saw a more acoustic approach, featuring new takes on old Takanaka classics. As of 2022, Takanaka is 69 years old and still kicking. He's touring and spreading joy with the voice of his melodic guitar. Like with numerous other Japanese city pop and jazz fusion artists, Takanaka gained recent popularity through YouTube's algorithms. After all, that's how I discovered him a few years back. His popularity doesn't stop with just fans, it has reached other musicians as well. Grimes sampled Penguin Dancer in her song Butterfly. Englewood and Flaming Assist did their own take on Takanaka's Sexy Dance. In line with my music tastes, my favourite albums of his are from the late 70s and early 80s. These two in particular. His music always brings a smile to my face. A true guitar legend that loves his craft. Only Takanaka could have hair this slick while skydiving. Thanks to Twitter user All of Takanaka with the help of making this video. Check out her account for more Takanaka trivia. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe for future content. Thanks for watching.